there's a lot of people who are coming up with these conspiracies about like, oh, there's a reason that this is happening because they want to burn down, like evidence or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's just like, but the real fact is that it's climate change and we're not doing anything about it. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to school. But don't worry, everything is cool. I'm your host, Jalissa, and of course, I am here with the boys, Steve and Brennan. Say what's up, you guys.
What's up?
And how y'all doing today?
Why'd you look at me that way?
Because you demanded. You were like, I want to do the intro.
We had to do the intro, guys. I doxed us by accident.
He did dox us.
By accident, so we had to do it all over again. But what Brandon was saying was basically we're managing. If you guys see, there's a glow in the studio because the fires are heavy outside.
The clouds are covering the sun, so there's an ominous orange tinge to the light.
It's crazy. Yeah, I guess. Do we already get into it? Our first topic, the fires, or
cold open? We're based in LA, so
kind of hard to avoid. Yeah,
we're surrounded. We're smack dab in the middle of the Eden Canyon fire. They just put out or at least controlled the Hollywood Hills fire, and then there's the Palisades fire, and there's one more, right? Or am I forgetting? Santa Monica.
Yeah,
right?
That's the Palisades. I think.
Oh, my fault.
It's the same one.
Oh, my fault.
There's the Eden Canyon one. Did you see that one?
That's the Altadena one, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. For people who aren't from here, giving you guys like super insider scoop because we're right here. It's pretty bad. Like there's ash. Right now, if you look outside, there's ash falling as we're speaking.
It looks like it's snowing.
All the cars are like covered in ash.
Yeah.
Since yesterday or before?
Yeah.
You have to wear a mask outside if you want to be safe.
It looks like the apocalypse outside. Everybody's masked up.
Today's Thursday. And then compared to yesterday, which was Wednesday, at least the air is getting a little better. At least according to, I looked at the weather app, and yesterday it was really, really bad. And today it's a little lower than what it was yesterday. But yeah, there's like fires basically everywhere going on.
We're really close, like super close to it. I mean, we were talking about how there's been fires before in the LA area. But never have they really been this close to the fact that we know people who are being directly affected by the fire.
Yeah, I think even in the news, because I was watching it last night, they're like, it's so close that you could probably know somebody who's been affected by the fires. Which like I do. I know some people who got affected by the Eden Canyon fire. So when we say like Eden Canyon and Altadena and like Pasadena, that's all in the same vicinity. And then when we say Palisades, that's around like Santa Monica, Malibu, like that's all that area, just so everybody can know like the differences. And then of course there's Hollywood, which they like managing to contain. But there have been a lot of people affected, especially like students. I mean, schools are not in session right now, and then I'm assuming colleges.
Right?
Yeah, well, all LA district is, I think.
Yeah, all LA closed. Districts,
The only classroom operational now is the one you guys are listening to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, basically.
No, it's crazy because, let's see, when was it? Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday.
It was Tuesday when all those crazy-ass winds
and they were crazy.
They were insane.
Like, I remember I was in my room and it just felt as if, like, the house was, like, shaking because of how windy it was. Like, it was so windy. You could hear it like really, really bad from outside. Like you would hear it, and then you would just hear this giant like gush. And when I say giant, like giant, imagine like it being super windy, and imagine that 10 times more. Like it was really, really windy outside. And when I went out, there was like trees and branches like all over the street. Of course, there's like a whole bunch of trash, because at that same time it was trash day. So, like, all of that was, like, blown out. At least in the area that we live, it was trash day for us. So, like, everything was just blown away.
The power lines?
The power was going away. I remember in my room, the lights started flickering.
Yeah, me too.
So, like, and some people lost power. Like, some neighbors around the areas that we live in actually lost power. By Elysian Park, which is around, like, Dodger Stadium, like, some streets down there, even the street lights, like you would imagine that streetlights sometimes when they go out, they're still a little flashing. Like they'll flash like yellow or they'll flash red. No, these were completely like out. Like everything was completely out. And I think that's when the fires had already started.
Yeah, they had.
Around that time.
They started
Same time on
like
Tuesday.
at Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I saw in the news they were saying that the winds were like hurricane force winds. In my neighborhood, I lost power at like 7:00 on Tuesday. I didn't get it back until like whenever I texted you, like 3 or 4 the next day.
Yeah.
And like Julie was saying, there's not even the street lights, right? It was pitch black. It was so ominous because obviously the winds and the fires, all the animals were gone.
Yeah.
So it was dead quiet, pitch black. And I remember, well, because it's been windy here before. That happens every now and again.
Yeah.
But then I remember because I was at a party on Tuesday, and then all of a sudden everybody was saying like, "Oh, did you hear? There's a fire! There's a fire! There's a fire!" And I was like, "Really?" And then when I got out of the party, all of a sudden it was the moon was all red and there was ash everywhere, and you could smell the smoke. And because they were saying that, generally speaking, in LA, we usually get rain in November and December.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen this year.
Yeah.
And so everything's all dry. And me and my sister actually, before I went to the party, we saw the transformer that blew up in our neighborhood that caused the power. This is this giant blue glow.
Damn.
And then I'm assuming that's probably what caused the fires in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Is because it's so windy, they just spread all the sparks everywhere, and it's so dry, everything just lit up like that.
Yeah.
Because I was seeing that the winds are really what fucked everything up, because they would spread the embers, like they would just throw them constantly, and then the firefighters were saying that they couldn't. There was just zero possibility of getting it under control until the wind stopped.
Yeah.
And they didn't stop until like yesterday afternoon, really.
Yeah.
So and they might. There's a chance they might continue later today and then tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's really insane too is that we're currently getting ready in case we have to move out. So, and that's like the reality for a lot of people. I mean, this is gonna come out a week from now. I wonder what we'll be like. I wonder how much it'll be advanced. I had read that the reason why the fires were bad were because it was a combination of a lot of things.
Yeah.
That went bad. It was that it hadn't rained in a while. So not only were things dried up, there was a lot less leafage in the trees, so the wind was just bulldozing over like all these trees, and so that way it kept condensating. If you go outside, if you're in LA and you go outside, you see the amount of like leaves and ash that are just on the floor. Just imagine literally one spark can just light it all up.
Yeah, because it's all pretty dry right now. Like all the leaves are already dying because it's so cold. So there's all that, and I had also seen that because of the winds, like helicopters couldn't really fly, so because it was like so heavy that they couldn't even transport like water, which is also another effect of like why they couldn't really be contained, because it was really bad. Like if you watch the videos of all the firefighters like trying to fight these fires during the time that it was really windy, it was really, really bad. Like it was really, really bad to control all of that. And but yeah, it's been very crazy these past few days.
It's crazy how because me and Julie were at the same party. Because like, you know, we like in LA every once in like at least once or twice a year, the winds get all crazy. Yeah. You know, I just assume that's just like a nature thing. Yeah. It's crazy how it just suddenly turned into a natural disaster, like just like that. Like because fires also happen in LA all the time. They're usually in summer, but I don't really remember there being one this summer. So I guess I thought we were in the clear this year.
Yeah, same.
I guess I was wrong. But they were talking about that on the news about how like that's obviously like a climate change thing. Yeah. About how the rains keep getting pushed back.
Yeah. Well, because I do remember that it is usually windy. So I do remember that because they say that all the like the Santa Ana winds always usually happen. And I remember that always happening because especially like when we're around Orange County and then here, it is pretty windy, but it's never been this windy where it was like highly like I'm emphasizing the winds because it generally was super, super windy. Like it's not your regular like, oh, it's just a little windy outside. It was like more than that. And so I think that's where like everything just for us was very much like unprepared because of the fact of the winds that we had never seen this before.
What do you guys think about the fact that some people are trying to come up with conspiracy theories to the fires? is it valid to always have what's it called?
What do you mean? Question everything.
Question everything.
I feel like
a natural curiosity.
I feel like with conspiracy theories, especially with stuff that happens like this, I just feel like it's very misleading and people start to get misinformed about certain things. And I
it's
feel
dangerous.
like it's also just very misleading, misinformation in the fact of like climate change.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of people who are coming up with these conspiracies about like, oh, there's a reason that this is happening because they want to burn down, like evidence or whatever. And it's just like, but the real fact is that it's climate change and we're not doing anything about it to like help ourselves in these like natural disasters.
Yeah.
Like I think it's especially seeing that like there was this time where it was windy and it has been dry, like there hasn't been any rain. And with all the wind, something could have exploded of, again, like, the power or whatever that was and the embers getting onto all this dry land. And that's just how it all happened. But everybody tries to come up with conspiracy theories of like, no, this was all planned. Like somebody did this on purpose. And it's like, no, like there's a real issue here, which is climate change. And a lot of politicians don't believe in climate change or refuse to give us resources to fight all of these stuff that is currently going on. And I think that's what upsets me about the conspiracy theories, because it's one thing of like there's actual people who are getting affected by it, and I think it very much like what's the word, like it
belittles
the actual situation and the people who are actually going through it currently, because people lost their houses. And like I have a really close friend who lost her house like completely, like it's gone. And I think to be saying and making those things up, I think it just discredits everything. And like, and I don't know, I feel like it's people, I guess, not taking it as serious as it should be taken, of like, again, like us constantly fighting about climate change and then us trying to like, save ourselves and stuff. And it's just like people are trying to make stuff up that's not real, or
For
like
sure.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean, because I think what you were saying, that there's a lot of politicians who don't believe in climate change. There's a lot of people who don't believe in climate change, just regular citizens.
Yeah.
And I get you. Like I didn't really think about it until you're bringing it up, but it does make excuses kind of for like the lack of action that's been taken to fight climate change issues. Because like obviously people just blame it on like it's the
just an accident,
the elite, or an accident, you know.
Well, another thing that I hate about conspiracy theories is there's this air of like trying to find the real root of the problem. But to me, with all those mental gymnastics, it's like you're driving right past the real problem.
Yeah.
Like if you want to say there's a conspiracy, sure, there is one. It's that the politicians don't give a rat's ass about you. And they could be fucked if your house burns down, or if the air quality is so bad that, in the future it's going to be affecting you. Like, that's, if you want to call anything a conspiracy, that's what it is, right? Yeah. And that's what frustrates me, because like you're saying also with like climate change, I know we talk about it a lot and maybe people are sick of it, but it's very normalized now for people to kind of pull back on climate change, which I don't know what happened. I don't understand why that's such a divisive topic, or why that's controversial, or even seen as politically driven. I don't see how that's politically driven, because I saw this big flack. And when aren't they getting flack? Disney, that they're making this new environmental movie, but they paused production on it because they told the writers to remove a lot of the environmental themes. And to tie that back in, it's just like, I don't know. It's just crazy that people really don't believe it, and it sucks that it has to get to these.
Like, I get you. Like, how is that even political at that point?
Well,
like,
and it's just like, why does it have to get to these catastrophes?
Yeah.
Like, why does it have to be that, homes, like, or hundreds of thousands of acres need to burn? Like, you can hear right now, there's helicopters right now.
Yeah,
like,
I was just about to say.
I don't know if you guys can.
Let me check
that
the app real quick.
this needs to happen, It just sucks.
Even the fact I got to check this right now just to be sure that there's not one near us right now.
I don't know.
I know, I didn't even turn off my phone this time because I was like, just in case they're like,
yeah, you gotta call.
Yeah.
Because the studio is pretty close to, well, not too close, but also not too far from, again, like the Eden Canyon fire, or the Eden fire. So we're very on alert on like if anything can happen right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of things have been closed down. Even my job closed today. Just because we are in the, I think it's called red flag warning, which is like the air quality is bad, temperatures are just really bad right now. So being outside is just really bad. So because we're in that zone specifically, it's just us trying to be on alert, because then, I mean, anything can happen with it, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, like I don't think there's at this point, and there's no such thing as overreaction or like feeling weird about like being a little extra cautious. We are in the red flag zone. Like this studio currently, as we're filming, we are labeled as red flag zone. So, and well, I'm telling you, as we look out, we can just see like an orange, red air mist outside,
and all the ash that's falling.
Yeah, so it is a little spooky. I am not gonna lie. You guys wanted to bring up. You guys brought up something about insurance that I'm not really too familiar about. What did you guys say earlier before the show?
Oh, so I think it's in the Eden Canyon area, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if I can't remember if it's one specific insurance company or multiple. Last year they dropped like, I forget the number. Was it like a few thousand?
Maybe like, maybe 30,000.
Yeah, something like that. Where they basically were like, we don't cover fires anymore. We don't cover. Then they were like, we're not gonna cover fires anymore. And basically most of the people affected don't have insurance because their companies were like, well, we're not going to cover that anymore.
Damn, bro.
And I think that's just insane. See, and that's going back to conspiracies, right? If you want,
because that makes you want to be like, oh, they knew or something.
No,
right?
No, but it's not even that. It's just more like, if you want to point fingers at something or like people or get to the root of a problem, it's that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, when people say that they knew, it's not that they planned it. It's just like, fires happen in LA. Of course they knew this was going to happen. Yeah. And scientists, climate change experts, meteorologists warn about this all the time. It's their job to do that. Yeah. You know, like, to me, it's like, if a doctor tells you to get the flu shot and you don't, and you get the flu, it's not that he fucking planned it. It's just you didn't listen.
Yeah.
You know, it's shit like that.
Yeah.
And
I think a lot of the companies knew that a fire was gonna come, and I don't think they had the funds to cover everybody. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's why they ended up just dropping a good amount of people, because they were like, it's gonna come and we're not gonna have money to give them to cover all of their houses. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what happened. And I think, again, like with the conspiracies, people are like, no, they knew this was gonna happen, that's why they dropped them, and like they did this on purpose. But it's like, there's other stuff and there's other layers that like happened. I mean, again, like, you know, I think people are for sure going to blame the insurance companies, because they're going to be like, bro, like.
And then people wonder why so many in the population are in support of that, of Luigi.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, because I think that's just that's so like evil, because like, well, we talked about it. It's against the law to not have a homeowner's insurance, right? Until you're paid off. So you're forcing people to pay this, you know, and then all of a sudden, where'd their money go?
Yeah.
You know, oh, we don't have it, you know. Well, you know.
But you see, and I've said this point before, and maybe like you said, maybe people are tired of me saying this, but I'm like, I just don't get like the logic of people who are greedy billionaires, because eventually, well, one thing, you can't breathe that money. I'm sure they've tried. But if the air quality in the earth gets so bad that everything on the planet fucking dies, not only will you not be able to breathe money, you can't eat money.
Well, I think it's just like, it's like
it's a human psychological thing.
No, I just think it's like the people who are affected generally. Like, at the end of the day, we're the ones affected.
Yeah.
Dude, it's bad. It's real fucking bad. I was working with my dad, and by the end of my shift, I just felt like it was all over me. It was on the inside where I'm working. It's on the outside when I'm working. It's in my car. Like, I felt so relieved to come home and not have to breathe the air. I'm literally, that's all I'm thinking about right now as you're talking. I was just like, damn, right now my dad's out there. I'm like, damn, honestly, I'm literally going to tell him to close, bro. Because my dad's also an older guy. Like, and he's the one who should be breathing the bad quality air the less.
Yeah.
And I guess I think about other people now that relates to other people who are outside doing outdoor jobs. I'm like, what? Well, because like I can't even be such a virtual signaling douchebag because people need money. People need to make their money and work. Like I can easily be like, my dad shouldn't be working. Like, let's shut down. But like knowing my dad, he won't, because I mean the bills still got to be paid. Like the insurance, you know, like all these people who lost their homes. Like as much as they probably want to like, oh, let's do the insurance, let's do this. Like there's probably a lot of it is up in the air. Like they don't know what they're gonna do with that. And I don't know. It just makes me think about like I don't even know who to blame. Or at this point, it feels like wanting to point the blame at somebody else feels like it should the priority should just be being safety, right? Trying to do everything you can to be safe.
No, for sure.
But for sure, I mean, I'm not saying don't blame people.
Everybody right now is like obviously managing the issue, because like I'm right near the fire too.
Yeah.
Like very close to the fire.
You can see it from like basically the front of your house,
right? You can see
it
from my house. Yeah. I'm also in a red zone, a red flag zone. The Hollywood fire was like maybe like a mile from like where my grandma's at. You know, it's all right there.
Well, it's weird because it's so personal too. Like, well, obviously you know people who lost their homes, and for me it's personal because it's where like I just would always go visit in LA. All these places, Eden Canyon or the beach near Malibu,
Christmas Tree
Santa
Lane.
Yeah, like it's super personal because they really burned out. You see the images. You go online and you see them. It's gone.
I feel like at least I keep bringing up the Eden one because I'm like it's close to the areas where like we would hang out, we would eat, like because I've even seen because yesterday I was trying to go to the store, like I was trying to go to Michael's in Glendale and it was closed. Because, like, of how bad, like, the air quality just is that, like, no one's really allowed to really, like, be outside or want to be outside because it's really, really bad. And, like, to me, I'm, like, it generally is, like, all, like, the areas where we just go are, like, starting to just be affected by all this. So it's, like, it makes me, I mean, I know that there's more. I can go somewhere else. But it puts into perspective of, like, the areas where I would go to even get like groceries or anything is basically just like being affected, that I can't go on that way because like that's how close the fires are. Like, just to put it more into perspective of just like everything that's being affected for us currently. But I mean, at this point, we're kind of just preparing for anything for our family.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was just gonna ask, like, what would you guys take beyond the essentials of like clothes and paperwork?
They say the 6 P's.
What are they? 6 P's?
Pets, people, personal hard drive computer, prescriptions, like essential prescriptions, say you're diabetic or need to take
glasses or stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. Paperwork, I believe. Plastic, which is credit cards, and I forget the sixth one, but you get the gist, right?
It's not bad.
That's with your go bag, because everything else, like, but those are the things that you.
Yeah.
Would you take any memorabilia though? Anything that just has memory?
I mean, I try to, but I think they were saying on the news that like
not worth it or what?
Well, because that's how people end up unfortunately dying, because
it burns up.
Well, it's so quick. Like people try to go back, and it's so quick that like you.
Yeah.
Scary.
Well, I think they were saying that about like the 5 people who passed away, that I think
they were trying to save their house.
They were just trying to save their house.
Damn.
Like I don't think they wanted to leave. Because of the just everything of like its values today. Their houses, their whole value, and I think they were saying that some of them didn't want to leave. They wanted to basically still fight for their house, but
I saw this story about unfortunately this guy passed away with the hose in his hand because he was trying to save his house. And how can you blame these people?
Honestly,
homes are people's livelihoods. People spend their entire lives trying to get a home nowadays.
Yeah.
You get married. You have a wife there. You have your parents raise you there. You have kids there. All your memory, like your home is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So how can you blame these people? That
they went out swinging. Because I was thinking about how like it's, at least from a stranger's point of view, that's very like commendable, and I can honor their bravery. But I see from their family, because I think about if I were to perish that way, I know my mom would probably be angry, because she'd be like, why did you even try that? Like, why like put your life over everything? But like you said, I can't blame them. I can't blame them. I probably would try. I'd could easily perish the same way.
Well, I think it's, I don't know, man. I think it's just like in light of the whole fire situation, something's got to change. Yeah. I think there's too much. Maybe it's always been this way, but I to me it feels like everything's kind of been coming to a head recently.
Yeah, no, I think so.
Like with the pandemic, the way the public acts these days,
the economy, the Luigi
thing, and now these natural disasters. I'm so sick and tired of, people, our loved ones, us. Like people shouldn't have to be dealing with this. It sucks that we do, but it's especially frustrating to be like kind of treated so carelessly, because that's what I think about is. These people knew, like again, like I know everybody tries to do this whole conspiracy bullshit, but the scientists tell us all the time, like, hey man, there's a huge fire problem, as climate change, there's less water, we got to be prepared for this. Don't give a rat's ass, Same thing with the pandemic. Scientists always, hey man, we got to change how we like handle like food processing or labs, and like, you got to wear masks. Don't give a rat's ass. They say it all the time, and it's frustrating because it's like we're left with the consequences, because it's never the people in charge who get left with the consequences. Yeah, never ever, and that's so frustrating to me. We always got to clean it up. We always got to do, because it's not like fucking Karen Bass. She's not out there putting the fires out. Yeah. I've seen people in communities getting out and trying to help. Like we talk about, there's incarcerated firemen,
volunteers giving away clothes.
There's Canadians coming in, like volunteers donating food. I saw it warmed my heart that on the street driving here, somebody put up cat shelters for the cats, like the stray cats. Wow. Like that's another thing people don't think about, and I understand, but like I've seen the videos of all the deer coming down from the mountain because it's so like toxic up there. I've seen videos of the horses.
What a mindfuck it must be for them.
Got abandoned.
I saw that.
That's so sad and unfortunate. Like there's all these things that we get left with.
I feel like I keep being hopeful about it, but with all just everything going on with just like political wise, there is that somewhat of like
pessimism?
Maybe not. Yeah, where it's just like there is and there isn't. At least personally for me. Because I just feel like, again, like there's always been this constant battle about like climate change, global warming, and all those things. And I feel like it's never been like there's never been like something to like a solution for it, because everybody has always been like on constant fighting about that, right? But I am also hopeful that hopefully this is showcasing like, as much as we say that we hate when it has to get, to the like point of like, people lost their houses, people lost their lives. I'm hoping there is that other part that is hoping that this does at least initiate something of a change, because of the people who were affected. Yeah. But who knows?
Well, for sure, because I mean, I've seen a lot of actors. I saw James Woods. You guys know who James Woods is, right? Mm-hmm. Hades. He played Hades in Hercules movie.
Yeah, he's in Family Guy.
He's Family Guy all the time. Yeah. I saw he was on the news, like, because his house burned down. He was shedding tears. And, that's really unfortunate, that is what it is, right? But I know that L.A. bends over backwards for celebrities and the movie business and all those things. I saw Coach of the Lakers, J.J. Redick,
he lost his house.
And that isn't me, like, I'm not at all trying to relish in people like losing their homes. I'm just saying that hopefully that because the people in power, so to speak, are affected, something happens. But I mean, like, this is ridiculous now, like there needs to be change. Like at this point, like
I would say
the old mayor loved them.
I would say so.
Well, I just think like there's another thing too, like giving the police what the fuck do the police need $100 million for?
You know what's crazy too is that, like, I was gonna mention this earlier. I'm glad you brought it back up. Have you ever seen that breakdown of like how much just one police cruiser costs? And it's something ridiculous. It's basically like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I thought about like how the extra money that the LAPD is given. I wouldn't be surprised if that all that money just amounts to like 10 police cruisers and like 20 helicopters.
For sure.
Like that's all that, and that's like $100 million.
To me, it's like it's like
it's a deeper issue on like also I don't know like you said competence.
Well,
like,
for sure, it's just like another thing is like, for the most part, a lot of people in LA fucking hate LAPD.
Yeah.
Like I would say a good majority of people here, at least in our community,
I fucking
hate the LAPD.
Yeah.
And they're always saying defund the police.
Yeah.
And they always respond with a bigger check.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and this is where it gets you, bro.
Well, to me, it's like, why don't those motherfuckers suit up then? Like, you know, like imagine all the money that could have gone to like with buying those. Like, who knows? Maybe just one extra I don't know how much they cost. One extra of those fucking planes.
Yeah.
That does, or more. Like, we need 60 more fire departments. Like, that's useful things. Like, it just goes to show you the opinion of you.
Well,
it's like
I had also seen that the fire department has been struggling with that.
Yeah.
And also getting people to join the fire department.
Yeah.
Because I've heard that even applications,
there's like a 1 year wait list.
Yeah, there's like a whole wait list for you to even, join the departments. And I feel like that comes from like them not having the funds, to just employ everybody, get people training, all that. And I feel like there's a really, really big difference, because there's always been the talk of like, LAPD like risk their lives and all these things. And sure, but like fire is way different than like what the police department does. Like they're actually risking their lives. They go towards, the danger zone, as to everybody else always leaves it and is always trying to get away. But these are the people who are going towards, all the dangerous things. And currently it's fires.
Yeah.
And like they also have families, but they're still out here, trying to fight and save everybody else's. Also, on a personal thing, since maybe yesterday, my eyes have been burning.
Oh, my throat is on fire.
Yeah, my throat is fucked.
For me, it's just mostly my eyes.
For me,
because yesterday when I woke up, yesterday morning, which is Wednesday morning, I woke up and my eyes were burning, and I was like, never experienced that. Because usually, like when there's fires, like the air quality is bad, and it's usually like my throat. But now it's just been my eyes. My eyes have just been irritated, like for the past like 2 days.
Yeah, dude, I have an air purifier, and our mom told us to put it in, but what sucks is that I don't have a filter, and then it's time to change the filter. So I don't know if it'll work. Do you think? I know this is a weird thing to bring up on the pod, but it's really that urgent to where like I'm just
you
like
could try to go get one, but I can imagine everybody
has one, right?
Yeah, it's trying to grab.
I don't know if I can like maybe do it the old-fashioned style and like wet it or something. But I was like, when mom told me, I was like, I mean, I do, but I haven't used it because
also wear your mask indoors.
I've been eating. Yeah, true.
Some people say to do that. I don't know, man. And another thing that bothers me is I don't want to mention his name because I really can't stand this motherfucker. But the people elected to office, right? Mm-hmm. Using the opportunity to just be like, see, this is why I'm the candidate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like to like shit on the Democrats and stuff?
Or just in general, like to just be like, well, see, this is why they're. I don't know. There's something about that.
I wonder if it works. No, for sure it's fucked up.
It of course works. Of course it works. And that's another thing that aggravates me, because it's like you are the same exact motherfuckers who would do this. In fact, you'd probably write a bigger check to the LAPD. Yeah. You know? And
I saw that too, where he's been like arguing about like the governor
just
and like all those things,
California,
and being like, see, I said like we should have done this and people would have been safe or whatever. And I'm like, you're the one person who has always been outspoken about climate change and it not being real or serious or taking it serious.
And there's also that clip going around of where he's like, if California doesn't want to listen, then we'll cut their precious fire money. Mm-hmm. And then I bet you they'll listen. Yeah. He says that he's
threatened us before of like taking away our resources for fires.
And I'm just like, oh, man, it's just so frustrating because it makes you feel like such a, like, God.
It also just makes me mad because, again, how I said, like, people eat that shit up. People are generally so hurt that they're willing to blame anybody, and they'll for sure blame, like our own people, just to be like, yeah, he's right, because like you guys took away this and that. And it's just like, but he's also not the right man to be leading this, because he's the guy who generally threatened us of like, if we don't listen, he's gonna cut our resources for fire, which is currently what we're going through.
It just feels like it's such a like dancing on our literal ashes, of like, Oh, see, that's what you get for voting that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's such a like. Aren't you supposed to lead the country? Why don't you get your fucking ass down here too?
Yeah.
Or like say, hey man, let's rally the troops. Everybody get down there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just hate that how everybody else seems to like relish in this happening.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's one thing if you hate a political opponent. What the fuck do I got to do with that?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck does the people affected have to
Yeah.
do with that?
It feels like that like state of Americans is the political division is so strong that people put it above like people's livelihoods and houses.
Yeah,
Like
and it sucks because it's like,
because like people,
what's political about that? You
yeah,
know what
that's
I mean?
what
Like,
I'm. But that's what I'm saying is like, people from other states who are just Republicans and conservative dancing on our grave. When they don't even know us, like they're not seeing us as people. They're seeing us as like I said, like this team. We were anti-Trump, so now we deserve it for being on the wrong team.
Yeah.
And it's like why push that narrative of treating humans as if we're in this faction instead of treating humans as like we're all here. Either if you want to be like still political about it, we're all Americans. If you don't want to be political about it, we're all humans.
Yeah.
Like at least offer the empathy.
Has Biden said anything? Do you guys know?
Biden? I think I swear he said like a state of emergency to California. I think I've seen
well,
it.
I know that I think since the fire started, it had been deemed an emergency. State of emergency.
One day ago, Biden visited Los Angeles area fire station for wildfire briefing. Biden postpones Italy trip amid raging Los Angeles fire. No, his poor Italy trip, bro.
To Italy.
No, it's ruined. His beginning of the year trip.
It's terrible, man. Something has to change. And I keep saying
but
it's just gotta change.
Biden, as if he would do anything, you know.
There needs to be a fucking revolution. I hope that's what's in the air. I really do. With all the stuff that's been going on, I really hope that I don't know something.
The thing is, like, whenever I think of revolution, I'm like, who's like really benefiting from the way that the government is right now? Probably nobody. But who thinks they are is a majority of the United States Americans.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't think it'd be a revolution. I think it'd be a civil war.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Because I don't think everybody's on what we're saying. I don't think everybody agrees to what we're saying.
No, for sure.
But I feel like for us to fight, I don't know.
Nah,
we're still the little guys.
Biden pledges federal support for astounding wildfires and natural disaster up in Los Angeles. So basically, he came. He was like, "That's bad. You guys got my full support."
Yeah, he's like, "That's bad."
He doesn't do anything. He didn't do anything for 4 years, so I'm not surprised.
I don't know, man. It fucking. I know it sucks. It really does.
I literally see ash falling. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It's just it's crazy that this was like because me and Julie were at a party and the winds do happen and fires do happen. But like that, it became a natural disaster, a history-making natural disaster.
Like it happened out of nowhere.
Yeah, like it just like that. Like it's crazy how.
Yeah, I even remember how the day started. Like because it was windy. It was windy from that morning, and I was like, oh, it's just windy, like regular. I thought it was regular windy, and then it just got worse throughout the day, and then eventually, like, you hear that there's a fire and. You know, like, fires are very, like, okay, there's usually fires happen, you know, here in California, specifically in SoCal. And then it just became bigger, and then realizing how close it was, and then it just became crazy after that.
Yeah. I knew it was crazy the morning I woke up to the winds because since when I work at my job, I'm usually up by, like, 7. So I was up by 7, and already the winds were going crazy. And we have, at my job, we have a lot of stuff just, like, floating. And so when the winds were picking up, already once I was opening up the shop, I remember I just saw everything thrashing around. And I had seen that clip talking about how the winds are going to pick up very strongly. And it's very dangerous because it has not rained in LA. And then, like I said, and then later in the day, I remember getting from Citizen brush fire. Well, brush fire is like whatever. You get a notification about a brush fire all the fucking time. Sometimes it's just on the LA River. Some it's just like on house people trying to get warm. Nothing crazy. They put it out. The next thing I know, it's like this historic fire that burns down like these iconic places in LA. And fuck even being iconic, just people's homes and communities. Like, It just overnight. I wonder. That's why I'm so curious when this comes out. Like, what would be the update by then?
Yeah.
Like,
no, for sure.
Like maybe this all seems either outdated or more significant at the time.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's crazy because it's like, I mean, I'm thankful. Like, I mean, so far, and we're not out of the woods yet, to have not been drastically affected. My neighborhood was fucking trashed by the wind, trees falling over. Nothing damaged on my house, thankfully, you know. But like I said, we're not out of the woods yet. But I just think of all the people, like, because you know how they're evacuating. Like, some people, where are they gonna go? Like, some people don't have somewhere to go. You know, some people lose their house, and
I'd be a wreck. Dude.
That's it.
I'd be a wreck.
But like, it's not like, I know there's this like this maybe some people have this perception like that shit's a movie. Like, just build back better. Like, with what money?
Yeah.
Like,
I've just never, my whole life, born and raised here, I've never seen the fires this close. Like, this is truly, and I always had this idea that even if the fires got close, since we're mainly city, like, it wouldn't burn this
There's
down.
nothing for it to
No,
catch.
but then I saw the video talking about, like, no, yeah, that it could easily burn. It could burn through the city to the ocean.
It could literally just
to the ocean, to the beaches.
Yeah.
And so that's why then to see how close it is very spooky.
It just goes to show you how quickly shit can go south, like just like that.
Yeah.
Because knock on wood, tomorrow the fucking big one, the earthquake
would topple our ass.
Like,
and then monsoon on top of that.
You know, shit like that, where it's like you would think that, I don't know, like, how can these people not be prepared?
Bro, if the big one hit tomorrow, that would literally, oh my goodness, it would be the apocalypse here.
But it's just crazy because it's like, there's shit, they've been warning about shit like this forever. And that's just us. There's shit all over the country people talk about, where like San Francisco, remember, nobody has air conditioning there because it never gets hot cold, there. Yeah. Not for long. It'll get hot pretty soon. Like, one day, who knows? It's fucking 120. You know?
Because I know there's been heat waves like here and there.
Yeah, you know, or there's areas where, like, what if this was, I don't know, like, what if this was around farmland? Then all of a sudden, you know, the crops for the year.
Well, do you remember Texas? I think it was a few years back too. Obviously it's Texas. There, everybody's used to it being hot, but then it starts snowing, an unprecedented event, and a lot of people lost their powers.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, when it snowed.
Yeah, do you remember that's when Ted Cruz famously dipped out?
Yeah, he went to Cancun.
And then they still reelected him.
Yeah.
Nah, that's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
That fool was like, bye.
Yeah, I can't believe that. They still reelected him. They still were like,
I'm not from there, so I don't know. Maybe he's like a saint or some shit.
Wasn't there a whole thing, though? Like, they couldn't get power from even outside because they had signed something that they were like, we can do it on our own.
He dipped. He left. And he was like, not me, though.
I'm going
Y'all be safe. But to me, the biggest thing is the fucking, like, dude, we're in 2025. We have technology where we can make like a life realistic picture of like Obama like twerking, and we can like use virtual reality to like go to a different planet where everybody is like 7 feet tall. Like, we have the technology to have a self-driving car that could take you anywhere, but yeah, we don't have technology to put out a fucking fire.
But even that, no. I mean, like with ChatGPT taking our water, no.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing, right? Was it Gavin Newsom or Karen Bass where they fucked up our water, where we were supposed to get something?
That's what I was gonna. I'm glad you brought it up. I was just gonna bring it up. Did you hear that the fire hydrants? One of the reasons why they kept spreading was because the fire hydrants didn't have any water.
Yeah, they ran out of water.
Damn.
Yeah, that's why people are like, we're gonna vote red now.
Can you look that up? I think it was Gavin Newsom or some. I can't remember.
I looked it up earlier. I have it right here. That was like. Right. LA Times. Fire hydrants ran dry at Pacific Palisades. Palisades burned. LA city official blame tremendous demand. They just said it's because everybody was using it.
Well, on that note, though, it's not that we don't have the technology to stop it. We do. They just don't want to spend the money on it. You know, they don't want to.
But I'm saying, like, why don't we have like some fucking robot that just like shoots fire?
It's just gonna take resources.
Water.
But that would cost money to make.
Oh, but that would cost people to care,
bro. Like you saw.
Oh, but people have to actually care, bro.
But you saw how much it costs for a fucking police car. You're talking about shit that, you know what I mean, or like those stupid LAPD helicopters. I don't know. I hate the LAPD.
I hate them too.
They harassed
Nobody
my girl.
likes him, but apparently, I don't know why people still fuck with him.
I don't know.
I also heard. Okay, so that was the other part. Was that I also had heard that crime had also
gone up.
had gone down.
Oh, really?
Crime's gone down apparently.
Crime had also gone down, and that's why they're like, why are you funding the police if crime is already like at a decrease? Like none of it correlates as to why you would fund the police, basically.
You know what also is crazy? The people who are like police dick riders, who will just love the cops. They're always like, "Who's gonna save you? Who's gonna save you?" You know, the firemen save you. Yeah. Like all the shit that a lot of the shit that cops get credit for is firemen do. So I don't understand where the whole like, firemen.
Who's gonna save you?
Firemen.
I mean, I think people can love anything. I mean, I'm sure somebody who's worked like 50 years at McDonald's probably loves it and would die for that fryer. And then that's not even a diss. Like I think that people who work at McDonald's are perfectly cool humans. But I'm just saying, I think that people will dick ride anything.
I don't know why they dick ride the police. That's so weird to me.
I don't know.
There's a pandemic of bootlickers in this country.
That's the real pandemic?
Yeah, bootlickers. There's so many. When did bootlicking become cool? Like, has it always been cool? Why do people love bootlicking?
I think it has always been quote unquote cool.
Like
it's part of the Americano.
I do not understand. Well, because think about it. All these figures about that like in American pop culture. Clint Eastwood, the outlaw. I don't listen to the fucking lawman. I make my own law. He's not a fucking bootlicker.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. I want pictures of Spider-Man. He's
a vigilante.
He's a vigilante. He's not a bootlicker. Batman. Oh, I don't kill. He's not a bootlicker.
I don't kill. I don't work with.
You know, or shit like that.
He works with the commissioner though.
But even the fucking like the whole like you can't trust the government, but then they bootlick the government.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's an epidemic of bootlicking.
I think it's just the illusion that they make you feel safe. I think people strive to feel so safe, and I get it. Like people just want to be safe, and I think they'd gladly buy into the lie that police officers make you safe.
I think people just like power. They're just attracted to power.
Maybe.
Multiple things can be true at the same time.
Yeah,
probably both.
I keep thinking of when people. I remember on TikTok, people were mad at this girl who was very alternative and emo, but she was very conservative. And they were like, that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense.
What the fuck?
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because, like, the emo community is very, like, against all that.
Maybe it makes sense in their twisted brain because it's like, I'm so against the status quo. I'm against what it's like to be emo.
Remember people were saying that, like, being conservative and bootlicking and religious was the new punk. I don't think so anymore because it's pretty mainstream now. Meta
like when Hulk Hogan came out and everybody was like, boo.
Everybody booed the fuck out of him.
Bro, that shit was crazy.
Yeah. I guess context for everybody listening.
Everybody booed him.
Context for everybody listening. WWE recently moved their Monday Night Raw show to Netflix.
He was a part owner, so
and y'all support him. That's crazy.
I was a part owner,
y'all support Zach.
That's an even deeper context. But anyways,
everybody knows the Hulk Hogan. I mean, everybody who knows who Hulk Hogan is, right?
Most people, I think.
Some people
know he's pretty famous.
Even before I watched wrestling, I knew who Hulk Hogan was.
Yeah. But they had their monumental first episode of the Netflix era.
But also, people probably know that Hulk Hogan had a scandal where he was violently racist. And by his own admission said, I'm racist to a degree, brother.
Well, I mean, we clearly the evidence shows most people know.
Yeah, but usually when people say racist things, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm not racist." No, not Hulk Hogan.
Is Hulk Hogan also the one who basically was against like people getting?
The union. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so that's the other part. Explain that part.
Well, okay. Well, let me tell you the story. Let me say the story. So,
no, but explain who Hulk Hogan is and why he's problematic.
Okay, so Hulk Hogan is a famous wrestler. Blew up in the 80s. Was really big in the 80s. Had a renaissance in the 90s. Still big. 2000s. Still around his career. Started doing reality shows. Famously did, I think, Hogan Knows Best from MTV. I don't know if you guys, some of you guys are older. Maybe you'll get that reference.
Hogan Knows Best.
Do you know that one?
Is that the one where he plays the CD and he's rapping?
It might be. You might know more than me, but
I've seen that clip. He's like, bitches in the club, and he's
yeah, he's a really famous guy. He's had multiple reasons why people would hate him. One, he's an extreme MAGA conservative. Two, he is openly racist. Not I know people always want to be like, he's not racist. That's not being racist. He said he was racist. He said, I'm racist to a degree.
You can look up the
quote.
clip where
That's
he's
an
like,
and I quote.
He says,
and he says,
I'm racist to a degree, brother.
And the reason why is because he went into a racist rant talking about how his daughter was dating a black man, and he called him the N-word, hard R. So he's a racist, not up for debate. And then on top of that, as a person, he's a shitty person. Famously, in the 80s, wrestlers were trying to make a union. He famously exposed the wrestler who was trying to unionize the workers, got him fired, so that way the wrestlers couldn't advocate for themselves. And therefore, union to this day, wrestlers do not have a union. And on top of that, he's a notorious liar, has notoriously talked shit, belittled, messed up people's careers in the wrestling business. Famously shit talked Mick Foley, who is like one of the sweetest, coolest wrestlers, called him a prostitute. Has multiple beefs, constantly harassed other wrestlers.
But yeah,
so,
and then on Monday
he came out on
WWE thought it would be a brilliant idea.
And LA of all places.
Well, it's because wasn't he also like what do you call him? Promoter? Sponsor? He was a sponsor or something?
He's sponsoring his beer.
He has a beer called like All American Beer or some shit.
Yeah, and so he came out.
And he was like,
Monday.
let me tell you something, brother.
Boo.
And everybody was booing him the whole entire time.
He tried to dick ride the crowd too, being like, you guys are awesome.
My famous tag team partner.
Boo.
Yeah. They booed him so fucking hard. And I thought it was so funny to discourse online because everybody was trying to figure out, like, why did they boo him? People were like, it's clearly his political views. And like, it's clearly his racism. It's clearly who he is as a person. And people were arguing, and I'm like, guys.
It's all
You're all correct.
It's
all of those things. It's all of those things. I was booing him in my living room for his racism.
What an insane idea. Why would you bring that guy out? I guess because he got a huge pop or a huge reaction at the Trump rally.
I think it's because people think that they probably thought like, this is Trump's America now. They're probably cheer him. You know, he's a legend. I'm sure the nostalgia will kick in.
I think Hulk Hogan probably had a part to play in the bootlicking epidemic. You know, say your prayers and take your vitamins type shit. I'm a real American. You know, I think
I saw a report saying that people who were backstage reported that Hulk Hogan was visibly taken aback by the reaction. But that it didn't wasn't enough to change WWE's future plans with him. So.
I'm saddened they didn't boot Undertaker. I think he deserves it too because he's a huge transphobe.
Well, I told you, I think it's because most people who are liberal and left leaning, I think it's more likely that they're not racist, but they're transphobic. I think that a lot of people who are liberal and left, I think that they're more likely to be transphobic than they are to be racist. And I think it's because I think I don't know what it is about like transphobia that it just like is so rampant, and I think in a lot of people.
I don't know. No, you're right. I'm sure you're right. I just think like, I don't know, fuck Undertaker. I feel more passionate about these things as of late because to me, like when it comes to Undertaker, who platformed Donald Trump, had him on his podcast, it's like I've seen what he said, right? Because before this, Undertaker always would be like, I'm such an awesome guy, you know, I help people. But to
all those signs were there that he was a terrible guy.
No, for sure. But to me, it's also like, you allied yourself with not only he's not only did he basically declare he's a huge transphobe because he was basically saying like, I just can't believe women are boxing men, like, you know, it's that shit. But it's also like you allied with somebody who has time and time again showed that they hate our people, hate our community. And it sucks because the Latino community loves wrestling. Yeah. You know, they're huge wrestling fans.
Probably love The Undertaker.
You know, they probably, and maybe they still do, which I you know, it sucks to say. But
true, a lot of Latinos voted for Trump, so
yeah. So I think it sucks that like there's so many people. That's why I feel passionate about it, because it's like, man, fuck this guy. He
like, if I don't check him, who will?
Yeah, it's just like, fuck this guy. Like he played a part in people voting for that guy. He platformed him. That's the same thing I feel with Joe Rogan, where it's like, man, fuck this guy. Like, you can sit here all you want and talk about how like, oh no, it's because his taxes, whatever. It's like, man, you punch down on my community though. You basically said you don't give a rat's ass about my community. Yeah, that you do agree with what Trump says, that that
when does like Trump Because I know he got January 6th was when they confirmed it. When does his presidency actually start?
The 20th, I think.
20, yeah. He's supposed to get sentenced on like the 14th. But
Yeah.
Come on.
He's president.
I thought it was on the 10th.
Remember the Supreme Court ruled?
I thought something was happening on the 10th.
He tried to push it back. He tried to push it to after the inauguration so you could just be like, I'm pardoned. But the judge said, nah.
I'll never get over that.
I wonder if TikTok's going to get banned. Because Trump said he doesn't want to ban TikTok.
Yeah, did you hear that supposedly he's alluding to the fact that he might buy TikTok?
He's going to buy TikTok?
Yeah.
They were also saying somewhere that some Republican guy is going to try to buy TikTok.
It's the guy from Shark Tank.
Bro, if all, and I mean, it basically is becoming, if all social media is run by conservatives, are you going to get off of it?
Maybe.
I'm for
sure off X because
Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk.
I'm for sure off X.
Now TikTok might be owned by Trump.
You saw that France wants to freeze his assets?
Yeah, and arrest him, no?
Yeah, they're not gonna arrest him. Like they're not gonna get him. But they want to freeze his assets. Which
to me, this is all slop.
Elon Musk.
Musk.
I hate that guy.
The Musk.
No, for sure. I'm for sure off X because I hate that guy and he's evil and again punch down on our community.
Mm-hmm.
It just sucks, man. You know, because I care about our community. As I get older, I care a lot more.
I think that happens to most people.
Oh, for sure.
You'll see people.
For sure. Because when I was younger, I had my edgelord arc, where I was like, "Nah, man, I don't give a shit about anything."
If these fires were happening back then, you'd be like, you take a picture in front of it, like doing the X.
When I was like 16.
Yeah, but
I think all guys go through that. But I think for me, I'm just like that's why I try my best not to like associate or align myself with these people because I don't know.
You think they poison the mind?
I just
poison the water hole.
They punch down on our community, man. I can't forgive that.
Mm-hmm.
They punch down on our people who help make the world go round. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's people who are immigrants who are probably firefighters who are cleaning up this mess caused by other people, and the people in charge tell them that they're basically subhuman, that they eat dogs, and that they don't belong here, and that this isn't their country, even though it is. You know, the area's burning down. You know, like I don't know. It's just
the firefighters being incarcerated.
You know, like the firefighters being incarcerated. Some of them probably incarcerated for nonviolent shit. You know, or based on like drug wars started by white people trying to again punch down on our community. You know, I think about climate change and the people it affects. It affects us. It affects our community. It's not gonna affect rich people. They can always move to New Zealand or whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. They can move to Antarctica when it warms up.
A lot of them probably just went to their second home.
Yeah, you know, like I think about us. Like when Undertaker and Hulk Hogan come out, yeah, whatever. Like the white people pop and the rich people love it and eat it up. But like they played a huge part in the fact that in deportations, like ICE, there's the deportations right now in Bakersfield. Like they empowered that. Like they normalized it. They made it okay. You know, like people like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg who get rich off of people like us, you know, who create and you know, build community and do stuff like that. They're taking off fact checking. Like they're totally cool with people using misinformation on gender and immigration. Like that's us, you know, like that's our community. Like I think about like, and another reason I feel so strongly about when people are transphobic and homophobic in general is because like when you talked about it, that has such like indigenous roots. That has such like our people used to have like these concepts of gender and all that stuff. That comes from like the colonizers. That comes from white people. That comes from Catholicism. That caused all those things. So that's why when people like Undertaker, I know people think it's such a small thing, or like, oh, he just disagrees politically. Nah, I don't agree. I feel like he is participating in the erasure of us. Yeah. He's participating in the erasure of our community. That's why I don't know. It frustrates me. That's why I try not to support as much as I can. Cause fuck, what else can you do? You know?
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Yeah, cause I mean, especially when it comes to specifically Undertaker, he's also like a rich white dude. So it's like he's pretty as disconnected and privileged as it gets. Like, of course, because did you see when he was like talking about Mick Foley? Speaking of Mick Foley, I just mentioned it. Yeah. Mick Foley's like a bleeding heart liberal, and he publicly like said how he was disappointed in Undertaker for his views and basically like shit talk to him. And did you see what Tigger said back?
What did he say?
He's like, I still love him. He's just wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like, because to him it's not that serious.
Yeah.
Because he's just so privileged.
Well, because he's unaffected. He's a white guy.
Well, that's what I think about most of these guys is that like to them it's just that easy. It's just to be like, because I've seen people say that they like Trump just because of who he is, his attitude, how he's a little bit not politically correct, a little bit less formal. And I'm like, but is that really enough for you to think about how he like dehumanizes individuals?
Well, I think you bring up such a good point about like the disconnection, like Undertaker, and I know we're singling him out just because he's a known
Undertaker.
He's the Undertaker.
You're cutting a promo on Taker right now.
He's a raging transphobe,
and
he's also gonna lose on Sunday.
If you thought he was the dead man before, when I get my hands on him, he'll truly be dead.
Yeah, exactly. but I guess going back to that,
what? I used to cut promos when I was a kid. I'm good at them.
We need a liberal,
as you guys know,
progressive for wrestling fans.
They watch wrestling.
I guess that's why it hurts even more. But I guess going back to like, I guess that idea, right, is the unaffected, like, privileged white guy. I get it. You're right, bro. To him, it's just not that serious. He's not a woman. Yeah. He's not a minority. Mm-hmm. He's rich.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen to him? He has everything to gain and nothing to lose. They're gonna cut his taxes. He's gonna get richer. His rights are probably gonna get even better. And that sucks because like people like us, right? Just my dad. That's one. Does that even count as that's one generation?
That's
right?
one generation.
Just my dad. He did not have rights, the equal rights. He was born in 1946. They did not pass the Civil Rights Act until 64. That's just my dad. That's just one separation between, you're less than me, and I guess, and I think that's why, like, there's shit like that people don't understand. Yeah. The same thing with you guys, right? Like, your family, like, immigrated here, right? Mm-hmm. And the way they talk, it's like, that's just one separation between, I don't think you're an actual American. I think you should go back.
It's not even that either, because they said that Trump said that he would want to deport people who came here illegally and then their kids who were naturalized, born citizens. And that's basically us.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I guess it's just the atmosphere of things that has us boiling. Because it's like we have to.
I like that. The atmosphere has us boiling because it's so hot.
Maybe too soon. I guess we can.
I think we can quote it. I think it's okay if we make a light fun about it because it's generally we're caught in the fire, and so it's us kind of like coping and trying to make light of our situation.
I guess to close things off, we can close with Julie's pink pill of the day,
and then word of the
day. Word of the week. What's our word of the week, bro?
Oh, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna bring that up because since Brian was talking about like his dad and like him not having rights and stuff, the pink pill, which made me think about this. So it was just more talking about like just women's rights and stuff, right? So in 1972, women couldn't open a bank account. And so this person on TikTok was putting it into perspective. Like, Trump was around like 26, 27 in 1972. Damn. And at the time, women couldn't have bank accounts. Damn. The other one, or he was like 25 when they couldn't have bank accounts. And then Biden was 30 and Kamala was 8 years old when all this was happening, right? So it's just like to put into perspective of just a lot of things and like rights that women were like fighting for. Because that's in 1972. I was like,
that's crazy.
That's like, and women couldn't have their own accounts of stuff. And then there was another one that they talked about where I think women being able to like own houses before, I think to buy a house in 1974 it's in 1974 is when they no longer needed a male to sign off so they can own a house.
That's fucking crazy. 1972?
1974.
Do you want to hear a crazy one too?
I was gonna.
Oh, you do? Yeah. Maybe it might be the same one that you thought of.
Well, because I didn't know if you guys knew this, but also in the 70s in California, it wasn't until 1979 that marital rape became illegal.
That's what I was gonna. That's wow. That's literally what I was gonna. Yeah. That's literally what I had right here.
Yeah, that too.
What? And then also, however, until 2021, spousal rape was considered a less serious crime than non-spousal rape. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
79. That's almost 19. And then this is supposed to be liberal California, right? Was California liberal in the 80s?
I do not know. I wasn't around.
Probably not. Not that makes it better, but it's just.
Yeah, it says right here, on July 5th, 1993, marital rape became a crime in all 50 states. 1993.
93.
93. Yeah. But I get what you mean by, like, it is pink-pilled, because it makes you think, like, bro, like, you guys swear that we're all equal and that there's these problems don't exist anymore.
I guess it puts it into perspective of, like, why people are so, or, like, especially, like, Trump is, like, super conservative, and because he grew up around this. Like, he was 25 when women couldn't even have bank accounts. Like, and then he was 27 when they had finally given women's rights to own a house without having a male sign it off. Like, he was probably mad about that shit. He was probably like, the fuck? He was like, women shouldn't be having bank accounts, or, like, they shouldn't be owning houses or whatever. Like, he grew up around this like, era of things. And, like, it makes you think of, like, a lot of the politicians grew up around this whole thing of being very negative towards minorities, towards women, towards just all these people. And sure. I don't know, it just made me think a lot of, like, that part of they grew up like this, like.
Well, yeah, and then the whole 50 states thing, right? Like, it wasn't until 1980 that every state made it illegal. You know, I think that this is just my opinion. I don't know if there's any proof about this, but I think that in a lot of ways, the laws around you shape your way of thinking and your morality. Yeah, because you hear that expression people say all the time. Well, it's not like I did anything illegal, you know. And I think that you can 1993. True. I know people born in 1993. Yeah. You know, it's hard. I don't know how you can possibly see stuff like that and not think that shapes the way people perceive or have attitudes about women. Like, you see stuff like that and you kind of go, well, no wonder there's all these red pill guys who think, like, women are supposed to be subservient. Or supposed to be, property. Because, like, literally, it was kind of like, you know, the laws were, and even still now, that's a monstrous law, you know, to where it's like, well, I mean, you're married, how can it be rape? You know, like, shit like that is crazy. Because it's implied ownership, right? It's, like, implied that, when you're married, she basically belongs to you, no? Yeah. That's just insane to me. Like, how can you not assume that shapes people's mind? Like, of course, there's guys running around who benefited from that law, right? Who saw that law or experienced that, you know, environment and carry around that, you know, way of thinking. They have kids too, or have people in their circle that they spread that to. Yeah. You know, that's fucking wild. You know, that's.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's also nuanced, because I'm like, as much as I agree with you. I think it's true that the law shapes people's perception. I think it's also tricky because obviously our parents were born there, and I don't think that some of my family members grew up being, like, sexist or grew up like the same way that Trump did. But I think the things that's different, it's based on character. You know, like, I think that, like, some people know it was wrong. Like, we always talk about, people knew it was wrong back then.
No, for sure. I just think what I'm saying is that. I think that in a lot of ways, that law is what dictates what's socially acceptable, you know, and it empowers people who have that attitude to behave that way. It's basically protecting you, you know, and I think that in a lot of the ways that people say everybody is racist to some aspect, I do think that stuff like that, like when it comes to laws and the societal norms, I think that shapes a lot of sexism. You know, I think that, like, even if there's obviously a big distinction between being, you know, an abuser, an assaulter, or a rapist, and being sexist, you know, but I do think stuff like that emboldens like a lot of sexist attitudes. Because I do think most people are sexist to some degree.
Yeah.
I think they walk around with prejudices and biases that they don't even know about.
Yeah.
Or have begun yet to unpack. And that's more what I'm applying to.
Yeah, I get you. Because I see it, the example I see it the most is in weed. How for our parents' generation, weed was not only seen as illegal, it was seen as on the same bar as like heroin and meth. And so I think that like that you could tell by that generation, weed is very, very taboo and very scary. But since then, it's legal now. And our generation treats it like it's water. Like, it's so normalized. Most people are like, you see somebody smoking a joint, you don't clutch your pearls and lock your doors. You know, just somebody smoking a joint.
California, it's also not illegal. And I think that's also what I mean.
Yeah, like people's perception of the law.
It,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I 100% agree. Yeah. I get you.
But that was the pink pill.
The pink pill.
And our final segment, the word of the week.
Word of the week. Stevie, tell them what's the word of the week.
Brandon, can you say it for me?
Ambidextrous?
Ambidextrous?
No. There's no P.
Ambidextrous.
Appendicitis. My bad.
I was gonna be like, what? There's a P?
Remember,
I literally made that joke. They removed my ambidextrous appendix.
You did make that joke.
Yeah.
I guess you're not the only one. I can't. How do you spell this?
Amber.
Ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous.
See, this is why it's the word of the week, guys. We don't even know how to spell it.
I do.
There you go. Ambidextrous. Ambidextrous means having the ability to use both hands with equal skill. The word comes from the Latin ambidexter, which means right-handed on both sides. That's funny. Right-handed. They said you don't have a left and a right. You have two right hands.
Yeah, no.
The left-handed oppression needs to stop, guys.
That existed. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it did.
They used to think that if you were left-handed, you were like evil and weird.
You're with the devil.
Isn't there a place where somebody recently told me, I don't know, I forgot where. I'm not going to say what place, but there's a country, I think, where they make you, like, if you're a lefty, they make you be a righty.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how people become ambidextrous.
Yeah. You know who was ambidextrous? LeBron James.
Wow.
He's left-handed, but he shoots with his right.
Whatever.
Oh my God, the glazing.
Always
the
hating on my
glazing
king.
is crazy.
Always hating on my king.
Hey, bro, keep sucking. Maybe he'll come.
Hilarious.
Wasn't that a good one?
Nah.
No. Julie?
Anyways. What was I gonna say?
Nobody gets me.
I used to be able to write with both, like my left and my right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do it right now.
I used to be able. I said when I was little, I used to write with my left.
Do something.
And then I went and did it with my right, and then I would do it at the same time.
And you didn't know what ambidextrous was?
No, never heard of that.
You just thought it was like a superpower?
Never heard of that word.
How?
SpongeBob said
I know. Maybe it's because we watched SpongeBob.
I don't watch SpongeBob.
Maybe it's because we watched
SpongeBob. Oh,
SpongeBob.
you're one of those kids? My parents don't let me watch SpongeBob.
I would only watch it when Steve would watch it, but that's about it. I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't watch it on my own.
What did you watch?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You don't remember what cartoons you watched?
I've talked about this.
She has bad memory.
Where I have bad memory. I legit can watch a whole show and not remember anything that happened in that whole show.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's cool because I can rewatch it.
It's cool?
Doesn't seem that cool.
It's cool to me.
What was I going to say? It had something to do with ambidextrous.
Usually it's people can learn it.
Because
it used to be evil.
No, evil. You know, do you think if we existed in those times, I can't believe some of the shit people used to think. Like, I know, like, I'm a product of my time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know people are often a product of their time.
Mm-hmm.
But to see someone left-handed and think they're like a demon, do you think if we grew up in those times, we'd think that? Because I hope I would just be like, I don't know, he just writes with his fucking left hand. Why does that mean he's a demon?
I hope that my ass would be like, that's stupid.
It
that's
makes you
a
think
dumbass logic.
Because for it to be so normal, that means a lot of people were like, a lot of people. No, that's correct.
But then again, I'm from this time, so
no, for sure. Because I think about that all the time when people are like, "Oh my God, they're a witch," or like shit like that, or I don't know. He's possessed.
And what's wrong with that?
I just can't imagine me jumping to that conclusion. Like, nobody ever in the old days was like, I don't know, maybe he's just fucking crazy. I don't know.
I just be like, and Let him be.
And
Let him be.
He's a vampire.
Did he kill someone?
Maybe,
If he killed someone, maybe.
Maybe he's.
I would
just
hope
weird.
so. If
Maybe
our souls transfer.
Maybe he's just weird. Nobody ever said that back then.
Maybe he's just.
Maybe
weird.
he's just weird. Maybe he's just weird. Weird people didn't exist back then. Everybody was just possessed.
I guess not.
It's either possession or normal.
Yeah, there's no in between.
Oh, he's. Imagine having homies who are just like, you do anything. He was like, bro, you possessed?
That's chill.
Chill.
People took that shit
call the priest.
seriously back
What
then.
is it that they used to say? Was it schizophrenia?
Yeah, they used to think you were possessed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that they would have to do an exorcism on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't. That's why I think
that one's so tricky though, because it's so it is dumb.
Sure,
it's dumb,
sure.
but it's crazy
But
just
it's
because
because we didn't
schizophrenia
know.
actually, yeah,
We didn't
schizophrenia
know.
actually makes you be like, there are demons and they're inside me.
Well, for sure, it's like I don't know. I feel
But
like,
it's like back
part of me
then.
would still be like, I feel like something's just a little up with me,
Bro, I wonder what like schizophrenia was like when it was discovered, because they were like, oh, like it's
You do see stuff.
like he actually does see stuff and he actually does think he's Satan, but it's like a
It's
disease.
not real. Yeah.
Yeah, like think about like the logic to that.
Well, because
It
Do you,
almost
think,
feels
do, you
like-
think, do you think it comes from just people being so highly religious, though?
but I'm like,
Well, yeah, yeah.
there has to have been, and I know there were atheists back in the day. None of those guys were ever like, come
They
on.
probably were. but nobody listened to them.
I think were atheists like killed? If you came out as an atheist, weren't you basically like murdered?
I feel like they're probably.
Let me look it up.
There probably were. They just probably thought they were dumb. They were like,
Yeah.
"Nah, you're dumb."
This guy
Like,
doesn't know. But
Yeah.
even
Oh, he thinks God isn't real. What an idiot.
they were the Chads.
Yeah.
They were the
Yeah.
Chads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it says, yes, atheists have been persecuted throughout history and continue to face persecution to
this
this
day.
day.
To this.
But what about all right?
To this.
All right, to a degree,
All right,
I
that
can-
was the Reddit.
I can understand maybe like an intense ailment, maybe like schizophrenia, right?
Mhm.
What about like I don't know, the left hand shit? Like that, what a jump! Like going from people saying like "There's the devil inside me," I
think
see, to like
I'm
"Oh, I
telling
just-"
you, people were just so heavily religious.
'Cause it's
that,
like- to be like, "Oh, I see the devil," da da da. Oh, that guy's possessed. But then this other guy's, "Oh, you right with that hand? I know how to do it with this hand." And then people, "Oh my god,
he's a witch.
Satan.
You know?
He's a witch.
Well, because remember in the statue, Satan, like one of his hands is
Oh,
like,
was
the
left.
So I guess
Oh.
the logic.
I'm
they,
telling you,
that was
it's
their facts and logic.
religion.
It's the Goblin King.
They
used
use
this
facts and
left hand.
logic, evidence.
People
Look-
were heavily religious.
What
I
else?
wanna say.
Can you look up other shit people thought was dumb? Because shit like that, my god.
I'll look
The
up.
shit that people thought was dumb.
Well,
Dumb
because
stuff.
did you know in Victorian era, like with the king and shit,
Mhm.
people would just shit on the floor, like in the corner, like nobody would go to the bathroom. So like when the king would have parties, people would just be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go take a shit," and they just go shit in the corner. Nobody then ever was like, "Bro, take that outside."
There's no bathrooms.
There were, but like people were disgusting back then. Like even that, like, because there were clean cultures back then. The natives were clean. The Japanese were clean. Why are the English so fucking disgusting?
It says, wait, what did you
think,
just say?
You think?
I said, why were they? I said, it's not like they didn't know, like that.
Remember that people used to think that it was dangerous to let
To-
water in your asshole.
to be clean? It was-
yeah, to be clean.
But I
These-
wonder what it is.
what is it? Like, what affected
Why
you?
were they so?
Because like even cats, like animals, know to keep themselves clean. Why did people
think-
so smart lose the ability to know to?
I
Keep
Why
think
did
I think
they-
it's because I remember hearing actually the explanation for it was that because of like where they lived, it was often colder and muddier. That water often would technically make you sick. Not the water itself, but if you're wet and you get muddy, you get dirty, you get athlete's foot or whatever it's called, to get an infection on your feet.
Yeah.
Or if you get wet, you get cold, die. And so I think people thought like
Maybe-
it's clearly the water.
Maybe they just didn't have clean water where they were, and
But, like,
they didn't want to
you-
use
But
it.
here,
But-
obviously, all the
but-
natives
but-
here were
but-
like, "Ooh, it's hot, it's climate, tropical weather."
But what I find interesting, right, is people are the smartest animal ever, right? A cat, a dog, animals know to lick themselves clean, right? Birds, they know how to take baths. Birds know how to do it, and they're not smart like us, right? I would love to talk to like a scientist and be like, how did we get so smart, but then we lost the ability to know to stay clean? Cause like,
It's the colonizers.
but why? Like, I just like, where in your mind is it a good idea to? Cause you know they used to brush their teeth with piss.
Yeah.
They used to swish their
Yeah,
mouth
yeah,
with
yeah,
piss
yeah,
because they
yeah.
believed that was and anti like.
The way you're saying yes, if it's common knowledge, I didn't know that.
It is. They used to wash their. The Romans, they used to wipe their asses with the same sponge. It was a community bathhouse. They would wipe their asses with the same sponge, and they would all be like a row filled. Like, hey, yo, pass me the sponge so I can wipe my ass after you.
The sponge I didn't know.
Word for word, bar for bar.
Yeah,
pass me the ash sponge
so I can wipe after.
Like, so I can wipe after you.
I just think like I don't know. That blows my mind that people.
You see, we say that, but who knows? Maybe we
for sure. That's why I'm like, nobody at that time was ever like, guys, come on, can't we all have our own?
You want to hear a few more?
Yeah.
People, it says in the Victorian era, people used to believe that train travel caused insanity. So some trains were designed with cages, so while you're in there, nobody would tweak out.
Well, I mean, some people kind of think that now with like planes, like the chemtrails and shit.
I mean, I guess
motherfucker right there
is not real.
People tweak on planes. So.
What happened to her? What happened to all that?
They got rid of her, apparently. That's what they said.
Oh, yeah.
I always thought it was a little eerie. You're going to make fun of me, but I always thought something. She's just so passionate.
It's not real.
What did she see?
Steve would have been the she's a witch guy back in the day.
I would have been like, I don't know, guys. I think they're possessed.
Yeah, that's what would have been Steve. A little scared of me. Well, what else did they think?
It's just like the shit you always hear. They were like drain the blood to make them like.
No, yeah, they used to brush their teeth with piss. Isn't that fucking wild? I don't think.
I feel like I've heard of that.
Animals don't even do that. They don't even like. Have you ever seen a dog piss into another dog's mouth?
Ew.
No.
Well, how come they know?
True.
Dumb.
Maybe that is actually an interesting.
That's why I would love to talk to a scientist about that.
Human curiosity, I guess.
That I don't know.
I think so.
Did you?
There was none any that I thought that were that interesting. Yeah, there was like one about like how witches. People used to think that witches would steal penises and keep them as pets.
Did you? I remember in school we learned that they had
ignore me.
They had a witch. Oh no, I remember that.
You remember that? Really?
Yeah, and they taught us that in school.
Really?
And I remember they also taught us that there was apparently this witch test where they would tie like
I know that one.
They would tie a bunch of metal on top of you and throw you in a lake. So if you drowned, that meant you were human. But if you floated, you were a witch, and they'd shoot you and burn you. So I was like, damn. So you're fucked no matter what.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? I wonder how many people just drown and they're like.
Well, now we found out.
Do you think they ever felt remorse?
No, it's probably because they probably felt safer than sorry.
Nah. Yeah, they're like, well,
at least we know.
Better kill her.
I could sleep better at night. I could sleep soundly at night knowing he was.
I wonder who made up witches. I wonder who made up like.
Oh, a white man.
You think
who hated women?
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. That's a good explanation.
That's a really good explanation.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's actually a really
call
good
the historians. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That I don't know, man. People of the past.
I think they were just so. I think they hated women that they just wanted to kill them.
Do you think there's anything?
They made up something scary.
Do you think there's anything we do now that people in the future are gonna look back and vomit about? Be like, how can these idiots really think that was the way to do things?
The dick riding? I don't know.
No, like I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything on par with like washing your mouth with piss.
Oh,
you'd be surprised. You never know. What if it's like something crazy,
like Liver King shit, or meat,
or it's like a tongue scraper. Like it's actually like terrible for you. Like gives you cancer or some shit.
Like you need that.
The enzymes in you. Yeah.
Oh, there was something.
Or like
what is it?
Like baby wipes, like actually using that on your butt, like the chemicals that were used. Like
I think also I read in there's this Victorian thing that women at the time believed that if you washed your
genitals,
your punani, that it would like you would die or some shit. So they were like
death, cause of death. Try to wash.
Oh, and then they used to have like wigs for to hide lice. Yeah. I'm telling you, these motherfuckers were nasty.
You know what I thought of? I don't know if you guys have been seeing how people do like ASMRs about like wax candy and stuff.
Yeah.
I always keep thinking like something's gonna come out about how dangerous that is for your body.
But you know what I think about? Yeah. I think about like I feel like it's only valid if it's common, like stuff like that. The wigs, like what if it's because nowadays we have the fake abs that guys can wear.
No,
like a romper. And I'm like, but I wouldn't want historians to look back 100 years from now and be like, yeah, everybody wore those.
But
I didn't wear that.
A lot of people with this shit, everybody did that. Everybody
You
did
swear?
the piss washing thing. That's insane to me. Yo, can I get some of my breast stinks? You gonna pee? Hold on, my breast stinks.
Wait,
Give me a
wait.
little.
Ew, not like just like
That's nasty.
1 plus
Don't
1.
get mad at me.
Brandon,
I'm the
why
historian.
you doing that?
People actually still get pissed in their mouth. So
Ew.
Damn.
It
But
never really went
now,
away.
but now it's very associated.
oh,
with
now
being
it's frowned
weird.
upon.
Yeah, now it's frowned upon. Finally, you would think.
Finally.
You would think.
It only took a few hundred years.
It
but now
only
it's
took.
finally
It only
frowned
took
upon.
most of human history.
Now it's
But
like
now it's frowned upon.
Damn.
I like how it's like frowned upon. Like you can do it, but people will.
Yeah, but
they don't like
no,
it.
actually, people would get mad because you're kink shaming, bro. That's not okay. So it's kind of frowned upon. Still got
True.
maybe like,
It's just frowned upon. People
maybe
just think it's weird.
maybe the next generation will
Or
get there.
maybe our kids will get there.
Maybe they'll finally
They'll
put
hold
an
it.
end to piss.
I guess we'll see what we're doing. That's
The disgusting customs of the
Nasty.
past.
Yeah, we'll see you guys.
But before we go,
But
Oh,
before we go,
I gotta do a
Brandon.
shout out to our patrons. Wait a second, I have y'all written down. Shout out to Yoel, Jada Chicano, Eli Quintero, I Am Potato Tots, Stephen Carvajal, Carla Corazon, and El Verdugo de Pasadena. You guys are always appreciated. Thank you for supporting the show. It means a lot to us. If anybody else wants to join the Patreon, please hit the link in the description. We really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you're anywhere near the fires, please stay safe. Look out for alerts. Get your go bags ready. If you have to go outside, please wear a mask. Everybody stay safe. We really hope
yeah, we're in it together, guys. We're in it together.
And we'll see you guys next week.
See
See
ya.
ya.
Bye.